Do they know that all the time they spent fighting so that men and women can earn the same? You are sitting here today and saying that you want men to earn more than you.
That somebody's putting all of these ridiculous things and calling them feminism. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Angela Davis is turning in a grave.
Is she still alive? Is Angela Davis? I think she still might be alive, bro. We sent this one early grave.
No, you lie. Davis.
We killed Angela Davis.
I thought Angela Davis was dead. My apologies. No. I'm sure you know Sihle, right?
Yeah. Came across the content.
She's very famous on TikTok. Shala the Unicorn wrote this in response to one of Sihle's video, which we're going to watch, but let's just read this tweet. So it says, what Sihle and her supporters think feminism advocates for: hating man, promiscuity, expecting man to pay for dates, expecting man to propose and buy gifts and support a woman's lifestyle. What feminism advocates for: abolishment of child marriages, genital mutilation.
Abolishment of, obviously.
Genital mutilation, grape, SA, GBV, protection of human rights, and equality. So this is what she wrote in response to this particular video. Where's the video?
One thing about you guys, quit or picanto segati, I don't need a man, get rid of patriarchy. And now you're allowing these young girls to gas you up and say, yo, I get irritated when someone says I'm a wife material. I don't want to be a wife material. I don't even want a man. And you're forgetting that these things that these young girls are saying to you, or the ones that you're saying to yourselves, are nothing new. More than 10 years ago, there was girls saying the very same thing. And today, they are nurses or they are corporate hands that have to buy men in order to just not sleep alone at night. If your picanto or your quid was enough, then why do we have a large range of women that have money and can afford their own lives, trying to pander to men, constantly funding their lives and giving them your cars? Because one thing about you guys, you swear up and down that you don't need men, but you will never leave them alone because you are independent and you have everything that you said doesn't require you to have a man, but you're still chasing men. Even the ladies that say, I'm married, but I'm a feminist and I believe that we should get rid of patriarchy. We can't get rid of patriarchy because you're sitting on it. Marriage is a system that was created by patriarchy, so sorry, we can't remove it because once we remove it, you're gonna fall over because you're sitting on it. Do real feminists...
Okay, what do you think? Oh, geez, I agree with her point. Damn.
You agree with her point?
Yeah, I agree with the point. I mean, I like I did say, right, based on the conversation we had earlier, right, if they're going to play that field, then I guess we're going to have to play in the same field as well. I ain't going to define feminism to you. I'm just going to counter what you're proposing as feminism.
Okay.
And point it out to say, oh, but look, this is where you're falling short with your feminist ideologies, right? You still expect man, somehow you want equality, but in its purest form, you don't actually want equality. You're still advocating for the patriarchy indirectly. You are still an agent of the patriarchy. You're still dependent on it. Regardless of what you say one thing and you do something else. And majority of the time, a lot of people are not even aware of what feminism is all about.
Luke told you what he thinks. We'd love to hear from you. I mean, obviously you've got views about that. What do you think feminism is?
Exactly.
And then here on my side, just from the very basic reading I've done, obviously
on feminism,
I understand that, in fact, no, that's not what it is, right?
Yeah.
So yes, Shala has a point. It's not at all, right?
No, but bro, I do get it. Shala actually has a point, but the manner in which she presents it's a mismatch. Yes, like you said,
it's a mismatch.
And so I said, Sihle is just playing in the same field as you feminist. Since you've brought it so low, let's play in the same field. But the manner in which Shala the Unicorn presented it sort of makes it a contradiction. It's not marrying really, because she wrote it in response to Sihle's video.
Yeah.
So that means she didn't really put it forth properly.
The response doesn't tackle the problem.
It doesn't address anything.
Yeah, the comment is inappropriate in the sense that don't misquote me. It's inappropriate in the sense that it is not how can I say this? It's failing to address directly what Sihle was speaking about,
It's
right?
failing to counter what Sihle is
It's
talking
not
about.
a direct rebuttal.
Yeah, but Sihle's point still stands.
Do you think what Sihle is saying is true? That basically feminism, or that version of feminism, at least, actually promotes patriarchy more than we think it does?
Yeah. Exactly. Because majority of the time, bro, let's go off Shala the unicorn's point. What she states as feminism for her, right? Her definition of feminism. Okay, cool. If we go off that point, right? That's a definition. She has given a definition. Okay, cool. This is what feminism is all about. If we have to put it in perspective of our modern society, then a lot of women have actually come short. A lot of you so-called feminists have actually come short to what feminism is all about. You're actually not living up to the standard. Because guess what? A lot of people have termed feminism, they've coined it differently, or rather they're portraying it in a different manner. Hence, that's what Sihle is trying to address.
Absolutely.
Because they've brought it, they're playing in a different field. As I stated from the very beginning.
Absolutely.
And she's trying to play in the same field. So for this one, Shala the unicorn to come and address that, no, you got it wrong. This is a different, she's tackling this issue from a different perspective.
You know what? I'm almost tempted to say that they're on the same side.
They're actually not.
No. Think about it. Here's why I say they're on the same side, right?
How so?
Because Sihle says, if you guys do the real feminism, I think at some point she asked her audience the question, do the real feminists know that this is what you've turned the movement into?
Exactly. Oh
yeah. She did make that point.
Yeah.
So inadvertently, they're on the same side, but I don't know where the discord is coming from.
I think the discord is coming from the fact that Shala is trying to educate Sihle on what a true feminist is.
I see.
But Sihle is trying to, a point was basically made to modern feminists. Because a lot of women
this version of that version of feminist,
because a lot of women that are advocating for such lifestyles, right? A man should do this and that, term themselves and say they are feminists.
That's it. So basically, these people who come with all these things use the moniker of feminism, right?
As a guise.
Basically. So they hide themselves, or they group themselves within the umbrella term feminist.
Exactly.
And
so that they can
perpetuate these things.
So that they can somehow validate their point. Because you can't question it. If I somehow attach my idea and my ideology to something that has existed for many years, and that you can't question, a lot of people really can't go against it. Because if you have to go against it, you're going against a lot of things. And you're somehow being insensitive, right? So what's the best thing?
Unconstitutional.
Exactly. So what's the best thing?
Yeah.
Exactly. Unconstitutional.
Even worse, you're being unconstitutional. Yeah, women's rights are within our constitution and many places in the world. So if you become anti-feminist, guess what? You're unconstitutional.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
You're misogynist.
Worse than misogynist, bro. You're a criminal. You could go to prison.
You're a female hater. You don't want them to have the right. And I personally believe a lot of people will attach their ideas and their corrupted ideologies to feminism so that they can just get that validation to their ideas.
I mean, that's terrible, because then if you're going to stay in something, if you're going to stay in an institution just so that you can get a tick or a check on your idea box because this institution has deep roots and it stands for something, don't you think that that's a bit of a disservice?
It's a big disservice. But then again, think about it. A lot of institutions exist like that. A lot of institutions, from religious institutions, educational institutions, bro. All facets of society, there are those individuals that do that. Always. If they want to validate their point, they'll attach it to something that has always existed and that is sensitive to a lot of people so that they can validate their point and ideologies.
Exactly.
They've always done that. It's like a human behavior.
It's nothing new. It's nothing new. I mean, look, hiding in, getting shade from a gigantic tree is a lot better than standing out in the open sun,
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I don't want to create my own ideology.
No.
Where am I even going to start? A lot of people are going to question the validate.
It takes time. Most times ideologies will only spring forth and become concrete when I die. So it's posthumous ideology. I want it I want it to take effect.
Exactly. I'm always going to be questioning the validity of my ideology.
100%.
I'm always going to be scrutinized. So what's the best thing? Take shade under a huge oak tree that has always existed. And what we call this big oak tree? Feminism.
Feminists know that you guys are busy saying, hey, I don't want a man that earns less than me. A man must earn more than me so that he can pay for all the important stuff and I can just pay for the small ones. Do they know that all the time they spent fighting so that men and women can earn the same, you are sitting here today and saying that you want men to earn more than you? You swear up and down that you believe that feminism is all about having a choice, but whenever you see a video of a girl proposing to a man, you get disgusted and you say, girl, stand up. When women say that they are breadwinners in their families and that they are the ones that take care of most of the things and the husband doesn't earn that much, you become sick to your stomach and you start judging those girls. You start judging those women, but you swore that it's all about choice. You end relationships with men when you always have to be the first one to text or to call, or you're always paying for things on dates. Because to you, when a man doesn't lead and he doesn't initiate and he doesn't take care of things, you know very well that it means that he doesn't love you. Because when men love, they dominate, they lead. So can you see that you love patriarchy? Can you see that you're attracted to patriarchy? So when you say get rid of the patriarchy, what are you actually saying? So when you say get rid of the patriarchy, you do realize that you're going to have to be the man. Because if you're saying men, stop being men, who is going to be a man? You. My suggestion is that you don't rush to call yourself a feminist because you guys just pick and choose the parts that you like and are suitable for you. Because now you just look stupid when you claim that you stand for something but your whole life is against everything that you say you stand for.
I mean, to go to just tackling Sihle's point where she's like, look, basically feminism empowers the patriarchy. What do you think about that? Like, firstly, on my side, the way I see it, fundamentally, right, at least from, if we go to Shala the Unicorn's point, if you look at feminism in its the fundamentals of
purest form,
in its purest form,
yes, that's what it advocated for. And there's actually more.
It actually was contrary or countered patriarchy.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was okay, not per se really. No, but think about it. Not per se as in countering it completely.
Not countering it. No. Maybe countering is a wrong way of saying it. It questioned patriarchy.
Some of the practices.
It questioned some of the constructs of a patriarchal system.
Yes, yeah.
Which, I mean, then again, so how would modern feminists look at it now? Because, like, look, if we're looking at feminism in the modern context, we're looking at things that are relevant today, right? We're no longer looking at the right to vote and all those other things. Equality, yes, in some sense, but now it's like economic equality, freedom of expression. Do you know feminism has basically embraced some of the other sexual identifications out there, like transgender people, etc., etc.
But then again, to validate a certain ideology, we actually have to go under the umbrella of something that has always existed.
But not to invalidate the LGBTQ plus community.
No, not really. No,
obviously. Right?
But we're just saying so that it can gain traction and acceptance as quickly as possible. Because remember, we need people to embrace these ideas as quickly as possible. What do? Slide it under the guise of something that has always existed.
But I think my question was, do you think modern feminism could ever coexist or make room or accommodate patriarchy, considering that there is some element of equality in our society?
No, then we're just reverting back to the patriarchy.
Then we revert back
We're reverting back to the very initial point that where all this thing started, before they started advocating for feminist rights.
So then, if that's the case, and the so-called feminist who we see is kind of like a hypergamist, right?
Yeah.
Imagine feminist misogynist. That would be crazy.
Oh no, they're male feminists.
Oh yes, of course they are.
Yeah, so yeah.
But would they be misogynist?
Yeah, a lot of them are.
Feminists and you're a misogynist. That's almost contradictory. That's an oxymoron, bro.
No, it's not. But some are. They identify as feminists, but indirectly. But that's another thing to go into.
Yeah, that's another story.
I know, it's another story to go into. I actually don't want to break it down, but yeah, it's another story. Again, I feel it's under the guise of I'm a feminist, but
Yeah, but then what about these people that Sihle is talking about? You know what? I think Sihle, she was trying to say something without saying it. Do you know she mentioned like, okay, if you've got a Kia Picanto or a Renault Kwid, blah blah blah. If you're looking at it from an economic point of view, this is the so-called corporate girly. Right?
Yeah.
So basically, she's firing shots at the corporate girly who believes that they're a feminist.
Yeah, because she made reference to that a lot of corporate girlies were all, I don't want a man, blah, blah, blah. But when they get to the top, they actually start paying men to service them. She made that reference.
She did make that reference.
She actually made that reference. So if that's the case, that means Sihle is talking about a different kind of feminist. Okay, what's this feminist? That's the question.
I think that's the question.
I think we really need to draw a distinction.
What is this feminist? We've got to draw a line.
We have to draw a line, because I know for a fact there's been multiple waves of feminism.
Yeah.
We're
on the fourth wave now, actually. We're on the fifth. It began in the 2010s.
Okay, so the first one was?
First one was tackling inequality at the core level, right? It was policy. So do women get the right to vote, own property, basic civil liberties that a person should enjoy in a land.
Which is right in its purest form.
Yeah. And that was achieved by and large before the Second World War. So somewhere in the 1920s plus, most women in constitutions got to vote, right? Constitutions were amended and women got to vote. They could own property independently of their husband and do all these other things. Great, right? Post-World War II, men came back from the war, because remember now, women occupied factories when men were out fighting the war.
Yes.
They come back and all of a sudden they find themselves out of the job because these guys are out of military service. Men have to run the economy again.
Exactly.
And for a while, the movement died down, hushed down a bit. Women reverted to traditional roles, hence the baby boom of that time, right? Because they embraced the housewife lifestyle.
And this is the very time a lot of corporations started pumping out a lot of marketing advertisement aimed towards the female consumer, because they realized they could actually profit off that.
100%.
You guys can actually go read about it. There was so much consumerism, because they realized the female consumer was like, they benefited more from her than the men.
Absolutely. She's in the home the whole time, hence the term homemaker, right? Yeah. So then second wave came about somewhere in the 60s, because women then realized like, no, there's a big disparity in terms of salary, social position. It's like they'd almost walked back in time and undid what they did by voting.
Okay.
So that's where the hippie movement really came into full swing and helped it, right? Okay. That's where people like your Angela Davis and them came into the front, and they were like the strong voices of the feminist movement, advocating for freedom of sexual expression. That's where that came about, among other things, right? Third wave, as far as I know, again, that's now looking at, because I mean there was a breakaway at some point where people were like pro-sexual expression and other people were anti-sexual expression, or free sexual expression. So further iterations would have circled around those 2 points, because if you look at it carefully, yes, you'd still find inequality in the workplace and other things, but it started becoming a taboo to do that, right? You can't just like pay women less just because. Like, I mean,
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Right?
So, as I personally say, I do agree with the initial ideology.
Yeah, beginning
and the fight. Yeah. The reasons, why they fought, the initial idea as to why they fought for the rights of women. I personally am 100% behind that. That was true, but then again, as it went on, the third wave took on a different perspective.
Absolutely.
It's like they kept on pushing it further. And I feel like they failed, my opinion.
Maybe I don't know the deep tenets of the different waves of feminism.
Yeah.
But to your point, if we're on the fourth wave and then some fundamental things, at least in the third world, let's say, right? Yeah. Maybe some fundamental things. And even in the first world, I think I can argue that haven't really changed much. Look at the gender pay gap. That's still a thing, bro.
As I said, we really didn't emphasize on they didn't really emphasize on the core thing, the initial thing that they were really fighting for.
Yeah.
Now it's like they got distracted and they started fighting for other things like lesser things that were less valuable.
I mean, to them, to the feminists, obviously, they'd completely rubbish your points and say, no, we believed in what we're fighting in. I mean, that's why they didn't.
Okay, what are you fighting for?
Hey, bro, that's basically up to them to tell you why they're fighting for what they're fighting for.
Does it still fit in with the initial idea? That's the question. I guess that's where Sihle comes in. Because she's actually talking from a perspective of, this is the initial idea. What I'm seeing you guys do is not what the initial idea, it's not a reflection of the initial idea. What are you guys doing? And if I was to judge you based on the initial idea, you guys actually fall short.
Oh, so is this version, the fourth wave, counterculture?
No, it's counter initial feminist movement culture.
Yep. I think that's very, very well stated.
Yeah.
Counter initial feminist movement culture.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Get a really cool acronym for that. We won't think of one right now. There's a bunch of consonants in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Because now it's hypergamy.
Okay, another thing I was going to ask about hypergamy.
Yeah.
Do you think hypergamy is a cultural phenomenon, or it is ingrained naturally in us as people?
I know a lot of people will actually bring out a lot of, because hypergamy is actually illustrated in what Sihle is talking about.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
Like throughout, like that's what she was talking, in as much as she didn't explicitly state that this is hypergamy. No, not even hypergamy in its purest form, hypergamy, in as much as she didn't really, explicitly say that it is, but it actually is. Mm-hmm. So it's hypergamy. I personally feel like it's embedded within us. It's embedded within, from an evolutionary perspective, it's embedded within us. If you believe in evolution, it's embedded within us. Like, it's something, we see it in nature, bro. We see it in nature. Yeah. Like, we really see it in nature, bro. A male peacock, if it doesn't have certain features and characteristic when he spreads those, what do you call them?
Yeah, it's feathers, hey?
Yeah, so, feathers.
Yeah. It's disregarded, it's rejected.
Exactly. So the female in every, whatever you can think about, in nature, human being always chooses better. So that's hypergamy in itself. Hence, they always want a tall guy. It's embedded. Evolutionist psychologists, yes, talk about these things. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, okay, they always want better. Someone taller than them, someone earning more than them, someone to protect them. We can't refute that point. In as much as we can try, on paper, it's good. Yeah, no, we are not. But in reality, it plays out very differently.
Don't you think that also supports the things Sihle is arguing against? Because, I mean, think about what she's saying, right? If you look at her perspective, it's mostly around the point of financial situation, right? Because if we need to give it context, we're looking at it from an economic and a financial background.
That's what we're looking at it.
So in this case, the hypergamy or the embedded hypergamy is actually on that basis.
It's just on the basis of finance and resources. That's what it's on. So yes, is hypergamy embedded within us? Personally, I do agree. Yes, it is embedded within us, regardless of what you say, whether on paper. Reality tells us different. Empirical evidence, totally different from theoretical evidence and whatever people have come up with. It's totally different. Females always want better. They always look better. So now, in light of the initial feminist idea, how does this paint out now? What do you think?
In light of the initial feminist movement ideology,
with hypergamy, how does it marry? How does this paint out?
It doesn't. It's not a marriage that is happening, or it's not even like a very pretty marriage. I mean, you could always try and hide it under there, but then think about the fact that the original feminists wanted equality. They didn't want to be at the mercy of men. Therefore, they did not, or to some extent, did not want to focus on hypergamy, right? We can say that. If we want equality, it means that we've got to be at the same level. I think we can say that. Whether or not they wanted to depend on their men is a different
They never
question.
wanted to depend on men.
It doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't seem like
they never wanted to be at the mercy of man. They wanted independency from man. They wanted to build something of their own, which is so reasonable.
Which is 100%. I mean, and I really do, I really do commend them for that. And I support that. We should be equal. But then at the same time, in saying that, how about some of the tricky parts of this whole equality thing, if you're looking at it from feminism's point of view?
Okay, what are the tricky parts, bro?
So let's say now it's a employer, and then they have to have an equal quota of men and women.
Yeah.
Right? And then they have to work equal hours, for example. But then we realize that maybe there's a special clause. Let's say feminism takes effect here.
Okay.
Because as much as we're promoting equality, but we're also promoting the benefits or the advancement of women, right?
Okay.
What if, according to us being the feminists, we're like, look, perhaps women shouldn't work more than X amount of hours because of various reasons. Let's say it's a medical reason, hypothetically.
Okay.
Don't you think that becomes a bit of a deterrent to me as the employer? Because then it's like, okay, I have more workers, but they're doing less work. So I'm gonna put a cap on the quota of women that's gonna be at my company, basically.
Yeah, because we need efficiency.
We need efficiency. So in that way, the feminist ideology becomes a double-edged sword.
That's it. Because, I mean, bro, if we want equality, that means we need to put in equal effort.
We must.
We need to put in equal work. We need to put in equal time as well. Equal strength. We need to put, everything needs to be equal, right? But yeah, you can't tell me, oh no, I can't work this amount of hours. No, if you want to get paid this amount, guess what? Put in this amount of hours, put in this amount of effort. You can't just relaxing, then you expect the same amount simply because you're advocating for equality. It does not, I guess that's where it falls short. That's where it falls short. And I think we reverted back to that. Hence the hypergamy, because there's a lot of dependency on men now. Because this wave of feminism, I don't know when it started. When did it start? 2010?
Somewhere in the 2010s.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it started that time, it's actually reverted back to the initial point. Because guess what? Hypergamy actually emphasizes so much dependency on man. Right? Man with resources.
Yeah.
The type of hypergamy that if a lot of people have actually brought into the mainstream actually emphasizes so much dependency on man, which is actually counter the initial feminist movement, according to me, right? Because guess what? You're telling the patriarchy, oh, patriarchy, we depend on you.
Exactly. We need you to be stronger so that you can support us. Therefore, we need you to be unequal. And if feminism promotes equality, then it means that in light of this, feminism falls flat.
It actually falls flat. So back to what Shala, is it Shala the unicorn?
Shala the unicorn.
Yeah, no, Shala. Sihle is actually right on this point. She's actually right. She's talking about the hypergamy, or rather the hypergamous feminist movement that is in existence currently, that started in the 2010s. That's what she's actually talking about.
Context, bro. Context. Definitely. Look, it's not, I don't know the intentions behind her rebuting that. Yes, fine. Let's say Shala is an actual feminist, right? Like, or she believes in the original ideology of feminism.
Yeah.
And then maybe she's disgusted by this version as well. And that's why she chose to point it out. Fine, but guess who else did that? Sihle did, right? So they have a lot more in common than they think they do.
Okay, if that was the initial thought, if that was the initial position or stance, then okay, cool. It makes a lot of sense. But if that was not, then girl, I don't know where. Yeah, it's a mishmash. I don't know what you are trying to counter here because we actually don't see it marry. So it's crazy. So then again, guys, you actually playing at the advantage of what's this? The patriarchy movement, the patriarchy.
Yeah.
That you are trying to abolish. You're actually playing at the very big advantage because if you're choosing man on the amount of resources they can control, if you want man to provide for you, you don't want to, everything is man. Guess what? Man.
No, I don't know.
Is it such a song?
Yeah. 2.5 Men.
For real?
Yeah, the theme song. That's how it starts.
Does it say man?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, what is it all about though?
It's Charlie Sheen and his brother, and then they have like a kid who hangs out with him. Okay, he hangs out with him, his brothers. I don't know, it just crept into my head.
Okay. Yeah, I know 2.5 Men, but I've never really like watched it or listened to their theme song.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. So then again, but the problem is they'll still blame and say, "Oh, men are the cause of everything." But come on, take the initiative. Like, call people to order. I do believe, I don't know if Sihle is a feminist, but there are certain feminists I personally have met that made a lot of sense to me, right? And that make a lot of sense because I actually understand this is what they're advocating for. They're advocating for the right thing.
Exactly, bro. I mean, I'm not a feminist myself, but if I were, I'd be really, really upset that somebody's putting all of these ridiculous things and calling them feminism. I mean, come on. Bro.
Yeah, Angela Davis is turning in a grave.
Is she still alive? I don't know. Is Angela Davis? I think she still might be alive, bro. We sent this one early grave.
No, you lie. No, you lie. Angela Davis is still alive.
I don't know. Wait,
no, Angela Davis is not alive.
She
Angela
isn't.
Davis.
We killed Angela Davis.
I thought Angela Davis is dead. My apologies.
No.
My apologies. Yeah, she's still alive. Yeah, she's still alive.
I'm sure, very disappointed when she sees things like this.
Yeah, I'm sure she is. I
don't think
I'm sure she's like, no, but guys, we didn't actually advocate for this. And the sexual liberation you people talk about, guys, it's not like this. We wanted decency. We wanted decorum, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So it's a thing where I saw this video, right? Where this female, this lady, right, is talking about how a lot of females have an issue when they see a woman that is modest and keeps to herself and covers her body. They have an issue. A female that does not drink, that does not do all these crazy things. Yeah. It's like it rubs them the wrong way.
Yeah. That person becomes, I mean, they get a bunch of names. They're a square, they are oppressed, they are not liberated, they're not woke. A bunch of other things come to the fore, and you're like, okay, why is it that somebody choosing to display what they see as decent, why all of a sudden is that a bad thing?
Yeah, so guys, thank you so much. I guess those are our words. Do you have any last words?
No, I think that's just how we put it. Tell us, I mean, if any of the questions in the video, if you have a different viewpoint, we definitely welcome that. Like, we really do encourage you guys to engage us. If you interpret this video differently, we'd also love to hear from you, right? We really do love engaging in open debate. So you know what to do. Hit us up in the comment section.
Exactly.
Drop a like on the video, please. And if you're not yet subscribed, do the right thing. Subscribe button.
And so guys, we'll see you on the next one. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave your comments below, like Chris stated. Don't forget to check out some of our videos. We've got more videos, and yes, please like and subscribe and share, please. We really appreciate it. And we'll be seeing you on the next one. I hope you watched it till the end. We need those watch hours.
Yeah, guys. Yeah. Jeez, watch the freaking video till the end. Okay?
Please. Yeah, and we'll be seeing you on the next one. Ciao.